Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning again. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody is having a fantastic Tuesday morning. Now we are here again because we have to continue the reading of the Bible. So for those of you who are new here, I want to say a very special welcome to you. Thank you so much for coming. And to all my returning travelers, I want to say thank you for your continued support. Now, for those of you who don't know what's going on here, every morning we come here at around this time and we read the Bible. And some people ask, why do we do that? And I say, because we must. It is imperative that we do, because after all, the Bible is very influential on every aspect of our lives. And many of us, we were raised in a church, some kind of church, and we were told the Bible says X, Y, Z, and we just flip the Bible and we read a verse, but we have never actually read the entire book so that we know firsthand what is in the Bible. We have just been told what's been in the Bible. Many of us only know Psalm 23 or in the beginning, or very, very few scriptures that we can call out offhand to say, well, this, I know this scripture. For me, there was Psalm 91 that I've been reciting since I was probably 3 years old. And like St. Matthew 5 verse 9, those verses I know right off the bat. The Lord is my shepherd and stuff. But I know there are people who have never read the Bible in its entirety. So when some things pop up, as we have been reading, people ask me, is that really in the Bible? Sure it is. That's what I'm reading. And it's not my own Bible that I've written. I'm reading the King James Version of the Bible. So if you are here and you would like to know what is in the Bible, you come here with me every morning and let us read together. You can follow along with your book Bible or your Google Bible, and let's discover exactly what is in the Bible. We are no theologians over here. We do not endorse any particular religion or any particular denomination. We are just on a human quest to read the Bible by ourselves and know what's in it for ourselves, get in our own context. All right. So if you are here this morning, a very special welcome to you. Do not forget to hit that like button and share out the stream. Invite your friends to come on over as we read the Bible. This morning, we are on to the book of Samuel. The day before yesterday, we finished the book of Ruth. So we have done Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, and Ruth. So now we are on to the book of 1 Samuel. And Winsome is here. Good morning, Winsome. How are you doing, my love? So good to see you, darling. So let us begin with 1 Samuel chapter 1. Now there was a certain man of Ramathaim Zophim of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zoph, an Ephrathite. And he had two wives. This is Elkanah. This is Elkanah they're talking about. Elkanah had two wives. And he had two wives. The name of the one was Hannah. The name of the other was Peninnah. Okay. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. And this man went up out of his city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. Verse 4. And when the time was that Elkanah offered, he gave to Peninnah his wife, and to all her sons and her daughters portions. That means he gave them a part of his inheritance. He gave them portions. But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion. Okay, so Hannah was the other wife. He had two wives, Peninnah and Hannah. Peninnah had the children, Hannah had none. Now he's giving away portions. He gave to Hannah, who had no children, the most worthy of the inheritance he gave to Hannah. Let's read verse 5 again. But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah, but the Lord had shut up her womb. All right, guys, you remember the story of Jacob with Rachel and Leah? Remember the story where Leah was having the children, Rachel was having a hard time, and in the end, Rachel only had 2 children for Jacob. But Leah had the most of his children. Now here we see Hannah and Peninnah. And Hannah can't have children, but Elkanah loves Hannah. Peninnah is his wife as well. She can have children and she's having his children, but him not really so like she. Let's move on to verse 6. And her adversary also provoked her sore, for to make her fret, because the Lord had shut her womb. So you know what that means? That means that Peninnah would mock Hannah to say, look at you. He loves you, but you can't even have his children. And look at me, I'm the one who is bearing his fruits. I'm the one who is carrying his seeds. And you can't have children. I don't know why this come at this time, oh, girlfriends mock wives and wives mock girlfriends. That kind of thing. Here it is 2 wives who are in 2 different circumstances with their husband. One being able to bear children, the other can't. But the one who can't bear children is really the one that the man loves more. So he would do anything for Hannah. So here Elkanah gives Hannah the most worthy portion of his inheritance than he has given to Peninnah. Now Peninnah is mocking Hannah. Verse 7. And as he did so year by year, when she went up to the house of the Lord, so she provoked her. Therefore she wept and did not eat. So here is Peninnah tormenting Hannah. Coming like how some side chick could torment wife. Uh-huh. See we here, see the torment right here. Then said Elkanah her husband to her, Anna, why are you crying? And why are you not eating? And why is your heart so grieved? Am I not better to thee than 10 sons? So here is Elkanah asking Anna, Anna, why you cry? Anna, why you not eating? Me, am I not enough for you more than if you had 10 sons? I don't think if you had 10 sons, those 10 sons would love you as much as I love you. Am I not enough? Why does this seem like some kind of narcissistic man right here? Why does it seem like it? I haven't read the book yet, guys. I'm just reading along as I go along. I'm sharing with y'all. And you all need to follow me in your Bible so that we can get context of what we are reading. Let's move on to verse 9. So Anna rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon a seat by a post of the temple of the Lord, and she was in bitterness of the soul. Of course, she was angry. Wouldn't you be? Wouldn't you be angry? And prayed unto the Lord and wept sore. That means that she was just weeping uncontrollably. And she vowed a vow. All right, this is Anna who is vowing this vow. And she vowed a vow and said, O Lord of hosts, if thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thine handmaid, and remember me, and not forget thine handmaid, but wilt give unto thine handmaid a man-child. She's praying to God to give her a son. That's what she calls a man-child. Then I will give him unto the Lord all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come upon his head. Okay, so here Anna is praying to God to give her a man-child. She wants a boy baby. She said if God give her this boy baby, she promises God that no razor shall come upon this boy's head. Well, you remember in the last book of Judges, we read about Samson, and Samson, the angel had told Samson's mother that she was going to bear a boy, and that boy, from the day he was born until the day he died, his hair should never be cut, because he was going to be a Nazarite. So here we are finding another story in the book of 1 Samuel. So let us continue. We are on to verse 12. And it came to pass, as she continued praying before the Lord, that Eli marked her mouth. Remember, Eli was the priest. So he marked her mouth. Does this mean that he remembered what she said? Let's continue reading. Verse 13. Now Anna, she spake in her heart, only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli thought she had been drunk. Okay, so she was praying in the church, but she wasn't praying aloud. So her mouth was moving, but no sound was coming out. So Eli the priest was watching Anna, but he couldn't hear what she was saying because only her mouth was moving. And Eli said unto her, How long wilt thou be drunken? Put away thy wine from thee. So Eli thought, because Anna's mouth was moving, but he couldn't hear her voice, he thought that she was drunk. But what she was actually doing was praying silently to God for this boy child that she so badly wanted. Verse 15. And Anna answered and said, No, my Lord, I am a woman of a sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before God. Count not thine handmaid for a daughter of Belial, for out of the abundance of my complaint and grief have I spoken hitherto. Then Eli answered and said, Go in peace, and the Lord of Israel grant thee thy petition that thou hast asked of him. And she said, Let thine handmaid find grace in thy spirit. So the woman went her way and did eat, and her countenance was no more sad. And they rose up in the morning early, and worshipped before the Lord, and returned, and came to their house to Ramah. And Elkanah knew Anna his wife. When he says he knew her, that means he went in and they had adult relations. You know what I mean, wife and husband relations. And Elkanah knew Anna his wife, and the Lord remembered her. Wherefore it came to pass, when the time was come about, after Anna had conceived, that she bare a son, and called his name Samuel, saying, Because I have asked him of the Lord. So Samuel's mother was Anna. His father was Elkanah. Don't forget that for the quiz, Sister Winsome. Verse 21. And the man Elkanah and all his house went up to offer unto the Lord the yearly sacrifice and his vow. But Anna went not up. Anna didn't go up there with them, with her husband and the rest of his house. That means his other wife, Penina, and his children. Anna didn't go up with them. For she said unto her husband, I will not go up until the child is weaned. Right? She said she will not go up until her baby stops sucking breast. She's not going up there. And then I will bring him, that he may appear before the Lord, and there abide forever. And Elkanah her husband said unto her, Do what seemeth thee good. Tarry until thou have weaned him. Only the Lord established his word. So the woman abode, and gave her son suck until she weaned him. And when she had weaned him, she took him up with her, with 3 bullocks. How many bullocks? 3 bullocks. Anna took up with her son Samuel to the mountain. 3 bullocks, 1 ephah of flour, and a bottle of wine, and brought him unto the house of the Lord in Shiloh. And the child was young. So I'm not sure how young Samuel was, but at least she had weaned him. Could she have weaned him at 3 years old? I am not sure, but he was young. Verse 25. And they slew a bullock, and brought the child to Eli. Remember, Eli is a priest now. And she said, O my Lord, as thy soul liveth, my Lord, I am the woman that stood by thee here, praying unto the Lord. Now this is what Anna is saying to Eli. For this child I prayed, And the Lord hath given me my petition which I asked of him. Therefore also I have lent him to the Lord. As long as he liveth, he shall be lent to the Lord. And he worshipped the Lord there. All right, so that is the end of chapter 1 of the book of First Samuel, and that is where Samuel is born to Anna and Elkanah. All right, let us continue. We are moving on to chapter 2. Chapter 2 of the book of First Samuel. And Anna prayed and said, My heart rejoiceth in the Lord. My horn is exalted in the Lord. My mouth is enlarged over mine enemies, because I rejoice in thy salvation. There is none holy as the Lord, for there is none beside thee, neither is there any rock like our God. Talk no more so exceeding proudly. I would have said, talk no more so exceedingly proud, but the Bible said exceeding proudly. Let not arrogance come out of your mouth, for the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. The bows of the mighty men are broken, and they that stumbled are girded with strength. They that were full have hired out themselves for bread, and they that were hungry ceased. So that the barren hath borne 7, and she that hath many children is waxed feeble. All right. That's self-explanatory there. The barren has born children. That means that the blessed is blessed, and those who thought they were blessed weren't as blessed as they thought they were. So the woman who has had a lot of children, she is now feeble. And I'm wondering if this is a jab at Penina. Because remember, Penina had many children for Elkanah. So I'm figuring they're talking about Penina. She has had a lot of children, so now she's waxed feeble. Anna was the barren one, but now Anna has born a child for Elkanah. Verse 6 said, The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. You know, this is the Bible's language, or the Bible speaks. You know, they use ETH to conjugate just about anything, any word. So here in our language, in our modern English, it says the Lord is capable of killing, and He's capable of making life. He's capable of bringing you down to the grave, and He's capable of bringing you up. He can make you poor, and He can make you rich. He can bring you low, and He can also lift you up. Verse 8. He raises up the poor out of the dust, and lifts up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and He hath set the world upon them. Verse 9. He will keep the feet of His saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness. For by strength shall no man prevail. The adversaries of the Lord shall be broken to pieces. Out of heaven shall be thunder upon them. The Lord shall judge the ends of the earth, and He shall give strength unto His king, and exalt the horn of His anointed. And Elkanah went to Ramah, And Elkanah went to Ramah to his house, and the child did minister unto the Lord before Eli the priest. Now the sons of Eli were sons of Belial. Okay, was Belial with the priest Eli? Let's continue here. This looks interesting. And Elkanah, this is verse 11, and Elkanah went to Ramah to his house, and the child did minister unto the Lord before Eli the priest. Now the sons of Eli were sons of Belial. They knew not the Lord. Oh, let's continue. And the priest's custom with the people was that when any man offered sacrifice, the priest's servant came, while the flesh was in seething, with a flesh hook of 3 teeth in his hand, and he struck it into the pan, or kettle, or cauldron, or pot. All that the flesh hook brought up, the priest took for himself. So they did in Shiloh unto all the Israelites that came thither. Okay, so the custom was that whenever they were cooking the meat, the priest would get his flesh hook. That's, you know, that hook, something that has like 3 prongs. You stick it in there, and whatever comes up on you just put it in the pot. Whatever comes up, that belongs to the priest. Whatever comes up on the hook, that's what belongs to the priest. Verse 14, and he struck it into the pan, or kettle, or cauldron, or pot. All that the flesh hook brought up, the priest took for himself. So they did in Shiloh unto all the Israelites that came thither. Also, before they burnt the fat, the priest's servant came and said to the man that sacrificed, give flesh to roast for the priest, for he will not have sodden flesh of thee, but raw. And if any man said unto him, let them not fail to burn the fat presently, and then take as much as thy soul desires, then he would answer him, nay, but thou shalt give it to me now, and if not, I will take it by force. Verse 17, therefore the sin of the young men was very great before the Lord, for men abhorred the offering of the Lord. That means the men hated having to make offerings to the Lord, because in making offerings to the Lord, the priest had to put his little 3-prong hook in the pot, and whatever comes up on that 3-prong hook, and you know that 3-prong hook probably picked up most of the meat and the best part of the meat. So the young men didn't like that. They didn't like what they had to do, but it was a part of their culture, but they didn't like it. So I bet they are going to start rebelling against this practice, because it said the young men, wherefore the sin of the young men was very great before the Lord, for men abhorred the offering of the Lord. They hated the practices. Verse 18, but Samuel ministered before the Lord, being a child, girded with a linen ephod. So Samuel was the little child that was leading them. Verse 19, Moreover, his mother made him a little coat and brought it to him from year to year when she came up with her husband to offer the yearly sacrifice. And Eli blessed Elkanah and his wife and said, The Lord give the seed of this woman for the loan which is lent to the Lord. So here is the priest Eli saying to Elkanah, the Lord has given you your wife, this child, Samuel, as a loan. But this child actually belongs to the Lord. So he's on a loan to you and your wife. Let's continue. And they went unto their own home. And the Lord visited Anna, so that she conceived, and bare 3 sons and 2 daughters. Okay. So now Anna is starting to be fruitful. 3 sons and 2 daughters. And the child Samuel grew before the Lord. That's 3 and 2, 5 plus Samuel. So now that's 6. That's 6 kids now Anna has for Elkanah. I hope they didn't count Samuel in that 3 sons. But let us continue. I'm sure we will find some more clarification as we go along. Verse 22. Now Eli was very old, and heard all that his sons did unto all Israel, and how they lay with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Oh, so Eli's son was out there. I guess Eli had his sons with Belial. And he said unto them, Why do ye such things? For I hear of your evil dealings by all this people. Nay, my sons, for it is no good report that I hear. He made the Lord's people to transgress. If one man sin against another, the judge shall judge him. But if a man sin against the Lord, who shall entreat for him? Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto the voice of their father, because the Lord would slay them. And the child Samuel grew up, and was in favor both with the Lord and also with men. That means the Lord and everybody around loved Samuel. And there came a man of God unto Eli, and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Did I plainly appear unto the house of thy father, when they were in Egypt in Pharaoh's house? Okay. So this man that is appearing is saying to Samuel that he had also appeared unto the forefathers of Israel when they were in Egypt. Let's begin again. Verse 27. We are on to chapter 2 if you are following. Chapter 2 and verse 27. And there came a man of God unto Eli, and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Did I plainly appear unto the house of thy father when they were in Egypt in Pharaoh's house? Now this is a question. And did I choose him out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest, to offer upon mine altar, to burn incense, to wear an ephod before me? And did I give unto the house of thy father all the offerings made by fire of the children of Israel? Wherefore, keep ye at my sacrifice and at mine offering, which I have commanded in my habitation, and honors thy sons above me, to make yourselves fat with the chiefest of all the offerings of Israel my people. Wherefore the Lord God of Israel said, I said indeed that thy house and the house of thy father should walk before me forever. But now the Lord said, be it far from me. For them that honor me I will honor, and they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. Wherefore the days come that I will cut off thine arm and the arm of thy father's house, that there shall not be an old man in thine house. And thou shalt see an enemy in my habitation, in all the wealth which God shall give Israel, and there shall not be an old man in thine house forever. Why not an old man? Why is he going to cut off the old men? What's up with that? If you all know, let me know, guys. Because I don't know why he's going to get rid of the old men. What's up with that? And the man of thine, whom I shall not cut off from mine altar, shall be to consume thine eyes, and to grieve thy heart. And all the increase of thine house shall die in the flower of their age. And the flower means in their youth, in the prime of their life, they shall die. They shall not live to be old. Verse 34, and this shall be a sign unto thee that shall come upon thy two sons, on Hophni and Phinehas. Okay, so here is the man. I think this is an angel. He didn't say so, so I shouldn't assume so. But it could not be a real man who is saying this. Why I said that it had to be an angel? Because if the person says that they appeared to his foreparents in Egypt, now it has been years and years and years since they left Egypt. So there wasn't anybody left who left Egypt. Because remember, when the children of Israel came from Israel and came into the wilderness, remember that the Lord, because they were so stiff-necked and they were doing what they were supposed to do, the Lord had caused them to tarry in the wilderness for 40 years until many of the people who had left Egypt had died out. So the people that emerged out of the wilderness were mostly younger people, because the older people had already died out. It was younger people like like Joshua. Moses had emerged from the wilderness with them, but he died before even seeing the promised land. But not many people came out of the wilderness. So this has to have been an angel speaking to him about having appeared to his forefathers in Egypt. Verse 34, and this shall be a sign unto thee, that shall come upon thy two sons, on Hophni and Phinehas. In one day they shall die, both of them. Oh, Lord. And I will raise me up a faithful priest, that shall do according to that which is in my heart and in my mind. And I will build him a sure house, and he shall walk before mine anointed forever. Verse 36. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left in thy house shall come and crouch to him for a piece of silver and a morsel of bread, and shall say, put me, I pray thee, into one of the priest's offices, that I may eat a piece of bread. Here ends the reading of the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2. Today we are reading, I wanted to read just okay, so today we are going to read 4 chapters. We are on to chapter 3. 1 Samuel chapter 3. And the child Samuel ministered unto the Lord before Eli, and the word of the Lord was precious. In those days there was no open vision. And it came to pass at that time, when Eli was laid down in his place, and his eyes began to wax dim, and he could not see. And ere the lamp of God went out in the temple of the Lord, where the ark of God was, and Samuel was laid down to sleep. Okay, so Eli is old. He says Samuel was laid down to sleep. And this is verse 4 now. That the Lord called Samuel, and he answered, Here am I. And he ran unto Eli and said, Here am I, for thou callest me. And he said, I called not. Lie down again. And he went and lay down. So Samuel was asleep, and somebody called his name. He got up and he ran to Eli, thinking it was Eli who had called him. But Eli said, No, I didn't call you at all. It wasn't me who called you. Now remember, now Eli is very, very old, very, very weak, and even his eyesight is starting to go. Verse 6. And the Lord called yet again, Samuel. And Samuel arose and went to Eli and said, Here am I, for thou didst call me. And he answered, I called not, my son. Lie down again. Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord, neither was the word of the Lord yet revealed unto him. And the Lord called Samuel again a third time. And he arose and went to Eli and said, Here I am, for thou didst call me. And Eli perceived that the Lord had called the child. Therefore Eli said unto Samuel, Go lie down. And it shall be, if he call thee, that thou shalt say, Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth. He said those words. Eli said those words to Samuel. He said, Samuel, go on back and lay down. 3 times now you come to me and say that I called you. I didn't call you. So if it is the Lord that is calling you, go back and lay down. And if you hear the voice call you again, just say, Here I am. Verse 9 said, Therefore Eli said unto Samuel, Go lie down. And it shall be, if he call thee, that thou shalt say, Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth. So Samuel went and lay down in his place. And the Lord came and stood and called, as he had done the other times, Samuel, Samuel. Then Samuel answered, Speak, thy servant heareth. And the Lord said to Samuel, Behold, I will do a thing in Israel, at which both the ears of everyone that heareth it shall tingle. In that day I will perform against Eli all things which I have spoken concerning his house. When I begin, I will also make an end. For I have told him that I will judge his house forever for the iniquity which he knoweth, because his sons made themselves vile, and he restrained them not. Okay? So here is the Lord saying to Samuel, he's gonna go visit Eli, and he's going to deal with Eli wickedly, because Eli Eli's sons have been disobeying, have been doing their own thing. And Eli, have not corrected his sons. He has not punished them. He has not helped them to stop. Like a father should direct and guide his sons to make them stop the wrong things they are doing, or do not do the wrong things in the first place. So let's see what's the punishment the Lord has for Eli. Verse 14. And therefore I have sworn unto the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not be purged with sacrifice nor offering forever. All right. So like how everybody else for their sins they offer their burnt offering, he said for Eli's house, I will purge it a different way. I don't want no burnt offering from Eli's house. And Samuel lay until the morning, and opened the doors of the house of the Lord. And Samuel feared to show Eli the vision. So you see, Samuel was afraid. He don't want to tell Eli what the vision that he got the night before. Then Eli called Samuel and said, Samuel, my son. And he answered, Here am I. And he said, What is the thing that the Lord hath said unto thee? I pray thee, hide it not from me. God do so to thee, and more also, if thou hide anything from me of all the things that he said unto thee. So here, Eli is asking Samuel to tell him what the Lord said to him in the vision. I'm wondering how Eli knows that Samuel got the vision. Verse 18, and Samuel told him every whit, and hid nothing from him. And he said, It is the Lord. Let him do what seemeth him good. And Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and did let none of his words fall to the ground. And all Israel from Dan even to Beersheba knew that Samuel was established to be a prophet of the Lord. Verse 21. And the Lord appeared again in Shiloh, for the Lord revealed himself to Samuel in Shiloh by the word of the Lord. Here ends the reading of 1 Samuel chapter 3. Now we are moving on to chapter 4 in the book of 1 Samuel. And the word of Samuel came to all Israel. Now Israel went out against the Philistines to battle, and pitched beside Ebenezer, and the Philistines pitched in Aphek. Okay, so these are the same Philistines. Remember Samson and the Philistines? Okay, that we finished reading a few days ago. All right, now here the children of Israel are going out to battle with the Philistines. And the Philistines put themselves in array against Israel. And when they joined battle, Israel was smitten before the Philistines. And they slew of the army in the field about 4,000 men. Now, for those of you who have been following the reading, we have realized that whenever the children of Israel are not serving their God as they should, they usually lose battles. So for them to win battles, they usually have to get rid of whoever it is among them who is so sinful that the Lord is avenging them for this person. That's why they are losing men. Remember when they were in Jericho? Remember Ethan, that guy who stole the garments and the gold? And then when the Israelites went to battle, they lost a lot of men. And the Lord said to them, they had to get rid of that guy who stole the gold and the silver and the garments from Jericho. They had to get rid of him for them to gain favor again in the Lord. That's how it went all the time. So here, the Israelites have lost 4,000 men. So I'm figuring the Lord is going to tell them why. Who among them is not worthy? Verse 3. And when the people were come into the camp, the elders of Israel said, Wherefore hath the Lord smitten us today before the Philistines? Let us fetch the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of Shiloh unto us, that when it cometh among us, it may save us out of the hand of our enemies. So the people sent to Shiloh, that they might bring from thence the ark of the covenant of the Lord of hosts, which dwells between the cherubims, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas. Were there with the ark of the covenant of God. And when the ark of the covenant of the Lord came unto the camp, all Israel shouted with a great shout, so that the earth rang again. And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, What does that noise mean of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews? And they understood that the ark of the Lord was come into the camp. Japizia, how are you doing, my love? So the children of Israel, after they had lost those 4,000 men, they were wondering, what have we done wrong? Why has the Lord not protected us? Why hasn't he, help us to overcome our enemies? Why is causing our enemies to overcome us? And so they decided that they are going to go fetch the ark of the covenant of the Lord that was in Shiloh in the temple. And they went and they got it. And they brought it in the camp. And when it came, everybody was shouting and happy. And the Philistines got worried, like, why are these Jews celebrating? What is the cause of their celebration? Then they found out that the ark of the covenant had arrived in the camp. Verse 7. And the Philistines were afraid, for they said, God is coming to the camp. And they said, Woe unto us, for there hath not been such a thing heretofore. There had never been such a thing here before. Woe unto us, who shall deliver us out of the hands of these mighty gods? These are the gods that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness. Be strong, and quit yourselves like men, O ye Philistines, that ye be not servants unto the Hebrews, as they have been to you. Quit yourselves like men, and fight. And the Philistines fought, and Israel was smitten. And they fled every man into his tent, and there was a very great slaughter, for there fell of Israel 30,000 footmen. Jehovah Jireh. So they had lost 4,000 before. Now they have lost 30,000. And the ark of God was taken. Oh, the Philistines took the ark of God. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were slain. And there ran a man of Benjamin out of the army, and came to Shiloh the same day with his clothes rent, and with earth upon his head. And when he came, lo, Eli sat upon a seat by the wayside watching, for his heart trembled for the ark of God. And when the man came into the city and told it, all the city cried out. And when Eli heard the noise of the crying, he said, what does this noise mean? Of this turmoil, what does it mean? And the man came in hastily and told Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old at this time, and his eyes were dim, that he could not see. For the Philistines have killed now, that is now, wow, they have just slaughtered 30,000 Israelites, and before they had slaughtered 4,000, so that's 34,000 Israelites they have just slaughtered. And they have taken the ark of the covenant of the Jews. Now, when Eli the priest heard this, Eli is angry that the covenant of their God is in the hands of the enemy. But he's old, he's 98, his eyes are dim. So let's see in verse 16 what he has done, what he can do about it. I'm not sure he can do anything about it, but let's continue reading. Verse 16 of chapter 4. And the man said unto Eli, I am he that came out of the army, and I fled today out of the army. And he said, what is there done, my son? And the messenger answered and said, Israel is fled before the Philistines, and there hath been also a great slaughter among the people. And thy two sons also, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of God has been taken. And it came to pass, when he made mention of the ark of God, that he fell from off the seat backwards by the side of the gate, and his neck brake, and he died, for he was an old man and heavy, and he had judged Israel for 40 years. Okay, so that's what killed Eli. Eli was old, 98 years old, sitting on a stool. The messenger came, told him the news that the Philistines had killed, had a great slaughter of 30,000 Israelis, and his sons, Hophni and Phinehas, were among the dead. And Eli fell backwards off the stool that he was sitting on and broke his neck, and he died. And at that point, he had already judged Israel for 40 years. And his daughter-in-law, Phinehas' wife, was with child. That means she was pregnant, near to be delivered. And when she heard the tidings that the ark of God was taken, and that her father-in-law and her husband were dead, she bowed herself and travailed, for her pains came upon her. All right. So Phinehas' wife was pregnant. Phinehas' wife was pregnant when she heard the news that her husband had died in battle, and her father-in-law, having heard the news, had fallen off the stool, broke his neck and died. She went into labor pain right away. And about the time of her death, the woman that stood by her said unto her, Fear not, for thou hast borne a son. But she answered not, neither did she regard it. Verse 21. And she named the child Ichabod. She named the child Ichabod, saying, The glory is departed from Israel, because the ark of God was taken, And because of her father-in-law and her husband, verse 22, and this is the last verse for today. Exactly, Winsome. That's a lot of stress. To imagine that you are just about 9 months pregnant, and your husband has died in battle, and your father-in-law just died, all of them on the same day. No wonder she went into labor. Now, this is the last verse of chapter 4, verse 22. And she said, "The glory is departed from Israel, for the ark of God is taken." Here ends the reading of the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 4. I hope you all enjoy the reading as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. When we come back tomorrow, we will continue the reading of the book of 1 Samuel. I hope you all have been following me in your book Bible or your Google Bible. And if you have not, I hope that you will go back to your Bible and follow along. And as you listen to the reading after this live is over, I want to say thanks to every one of you who came into the live, and those of you who will be listening afterwards. I want to say thanks to you for having come in to my channel. And to my newcomers in my channel, I want to say thank you. I've noticed a few new people, and I want to say welcome and thank you all so much for coming. Winsome says it's all the bad news. Exactly, Winsome. All the bad news that will cause anybody, any woman to go into labor. So I'm not surprised that that's what happened with Phineas's wife. Okay, so that is going to be it from me for this morning, my friends. Come back here tomorrow morning as we continue the reading. Thanks again for coming in to the channel. Until next time, my friends, this is Trev from Trevessence, where your journey matters. Now have yourself a great day, everybody. Have yourself a good day, Sister Winsome. I will see you later. Okay?